I was playing back through the original Halo CE for no particular reason, and was reminded of a pretty cool link between two Halo missions in particular. Specifically when I was playing the Truth and Reconciliation from Halo CE, I was reminded of Nightfall from Halo Reach. Reach being my favourite entry in the series, I have a somewhat photographic, maybe more faded magazine, memory of each beat of that game's campaign. So replaying CE for my recent video instantly sparked a link in my mind. On the surface, there are already a few similarities. Sniper rifles, nighttime, etc., but it runs more than skin deep. For the most part, I want these two levels to speak for themselves, but I've woven them together so we'll jump back and forth between each game throughout this video. You'll see what I mean as we get started with Halo Reach. Nightfall starts with you and the sniper guy who, spoiler alert, survives the whole conflict scaling a rocky cliff face, moonlight bearing down on you. To say the camera is a character in this scene would be an absolute understatement. They've taken the motif of handheld, documentary-style footage to a whole new level, with the camera operator even contemplating their own mortality. The large-scale operatic stakes of Halo CE are instantly noticeable, with a cinematic pan across from the Halo itself to the Covenant cruiser overhead. This is a heist and a rescue mission. The first encounter, much like Nightfall, can be stealthed through, though I'm not sure how enemies don't hear.
I'll be in touch.
It's after this cutscene that the mission begins. But don't worry, even seasoned players will get confused by bright blue markers if they stop to check their recording right at the start of the mission. Oh, that's June. The name of the game here is Stealth, and after you take out a conveniently placed elite and sleeping grunt, you're free to waltz on past any of the other enemies in this first area. The next engagement is unavoidable, and set around a human structure. People lived here before aliens invaded, evident most of all in the lifeless corpse of a... Wait a minute, that's not a soldier. As soon as you go loud, your Marines move in, barking one-liners and absolutely getting into the mix. If you accidentally shoot a massive hole through one of your allies, if one of them shoots another, they'll bicker about that too. They'll even claim credit for dead bodies next to them. 25 years after this game's release, I'm super impressed with how reactive they are to combat. Then you go AFK for, I don't really know why I was gone so long. Don't worry, even seasoned players walk blatantly in the wrong direction. So far, it's all been high ground, shooting on the Covenant below you. Once you eventually find the path to this next area, you're greeted with an inversion of that, with the enemies now having the drop on you. Side note, I've been looking at Halo 1 to 3 and campaign evolved shotguns so much lately I forgot the sights were red. So our objective is obviously that Covenant cruiser in the sky right there. You hop through a series of engagements in an effort to clear a path, to get aboard and rescue
Captain Keys.
And this is where the fight heats up a bit. Not only do dropships drop off waves of aliens for you to fight, but the big purple grav lift in the center of this arena dispenses them too. Not the least of which is these guys. But if you've got sniper ammo left, you should have no problem. That's one thing I didn't realize. No pistola on this mission, meaning the sniper is your only ranged and headshot option. Alright, let's get up there. What's happening? Wildlife. Wow, talk about revisiting Halo 1. Look, I get that they're aggressive against the player, but seasoned players like my... Things like this and the mower are touches that make Reach feel a bit more lived in, and it's the kind of advancement in technology we used to see after a decade back in the day. Here is when we come across some fellow humans, but we quickly learn that they're locals. Militia, sure, so military trained in some capacity, but they're just people protecting their home. To add to that, June mentions that the area has been evacuated.
What are you doing here? Whole area is supposed to be evacuated.
So, it seems like the UNSC, being the governing body of the area, would essentially consider them rogue elements. And I'm sure that in a time of non-war with the Covenant, these same rogue militia members with their contraband UNSC weapons would have been at the mercy of the player and June.
Gonna steal it back.
Now that we're up on the ship, clear these folks out as you fight around a Wraith, which, might I remind you, is not drivable in Halo CE, but makes for a great piece of set dressing. This really feels like a hangar that the Covenant used to deploy various forces, tools, and substances.
We can use the side passages to find a way around.
Oh no. I get that the labyrinthine mazes of Halo CE cop a bit of flack, but it really makes sense for this alien ship, and the world design that Halo fostered. Oh, you got the door open? Oh, thank goodness. Oh my god. That was gonna take so long. Fast forward, and the game pretends that we have to hide from the Phantom. No, we don't. Bit of set dressing. Appreciate a bit of theatre. Don't we? Powerhouse.
My favorite multiplayer map.
And I've got to say, after playing a lot of Halo 1 and Halo 4, it feels good to have this DMR back in my hands. Despite the contentious nature of Bloom, I feel more accurate than I ever do in Halo 4 when I pay attention to pacing my shots. And it's good to know that my knowledge of the multiplayer map Powerhouse serves me well in the canon locations of these weapons.
Oh, there is a rocket there. Get lost. That's crazy.
Except that there's no grenade launcher in the showers. Clear evidence that this isn't a military base. The layout of this room in particular reminds me of Cairo Station in Halo 2 of all things. Which I think is funny because Cairo Station is a human area, but this is our alien ship. And just when you've splatooned the entire floor with enemy blood, 2 more Huntrixes show up. I actually really enjoyed K-pop Demon Hunters for what it was like. Luckily, disregarding your allies entirely is not a fail state in this part of the level, because,
Everyone.
Halo's been chucking a pair of hunters at you since the beginning, so it's good to see them keeping a form. Unfortunately, this guy is absolutely scripted to die, and there's no way to save him, not even for seasoned players like myself. While the armor abilities for Spartans being delicately littered around a human militia holdout overrun with Covenant doesn't make a heap of sense outside gameplay, I can rationalize the inclusion of health packs as just straight up first aid kits for any non-Spartans. This is probably a bit overlooked, but the return of the health system is kind of a big deal. Reach straight up adapts the look and feel of the Halo CE health packs, even giving them a sense of belonging in the environment. It's a move that feels distinctly classic and video gaming, and I love it. Higher and higher we go, until we reach a room very significant to a point later in the game. The fact that you run through here twice really cements this room in your mind, ahead of Key's ultimate fate. I'm also a bit in awe of how masterful and restrained this game is in keeping the Flood reveal firmly in the back half of the game. If Halo was just shooting aliens, it still would have gone down as a classic. The Flood just takes it to the next level. Shade turrets continue to be a pain here, and I really wish I had kept my sniper at this point, but the good thing is it's only grunts that hop on the Shade. Oh no. Times like these are really making me miss that CE Magnum. Alright, we're nearing the end, and right before the mission becomes literally unplayable, it's literally unplayable.
You've seen this, cat?
I don't know if it's my settings, or if I was always supposed to view this in a maximum of 720p on an Xbox 360, or it could even be an issue with MCC, but I can't see for shit what this is supposed to be. Based off the dialogue, it's a Covenant armada, but it just looks like a big purple blur. We end on an overwhelming of the limited human resistance force, and the Covenant seems absolutely insurmountable. We're losing. So we free Keys, and it really feels like we've run the gauntlet and killed a ship's worth of enemies. The corridors, labyrinthine be they may, almost give me like a marathon vibe, especially with it being set on a ship. Coming here was reckless, but so entirely in character for Master Chief. We also get major exposition on the stakes of our campaign here. This is where we first learn that Halo is a weapon.
They believe that Halo is some kind of weapon.
Chekhov's needler is an extremely simple touch, but very, very fun in my opinion. Okay, home stretch. So you fight back through, commandeer a ship, and... Overall, there are a lot of parallels between these two missions, and that's obviously no coincidence. Both missions are centered around nighttime infiltration with a sniper rifle. Both also grant the player higher than usual ammo reserves for their weapons. They're both the third mission in their respective campaigns, and are both followed by campaign missions with sections that double as some of the most iconic, large-scale multiplayer maps in their respective games. The two missions differ in their execution though, with Halo CEs being an ascent up to and through an alien ship, concluding with a victory over the Covenant, where Halo Reach has you traversing across distinctly human structures and landscape to eventually look down upon an overwhelming Covenant force that rings as a very bad omen for humanity. Accompanied by gung-ho action movie Marines in Halo CE, instead in Reach, local militia holdouts do whatever they can just to protect their home. Reach is definitely more grounded, and CE is this high-stakes, dramatic action movie. But even where the missions differ, they echo. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Is that the meta right now? I don't actually know.